Ladies and gentlemen, it's your boy, the Double D. Welcome to an exceptionally special edition of the podcast. We have our very first guest. Ladies and gents, move over Joe Rogan. That's right. And it's not just any guest, ladies and gents. All the way from across the seas, it's my boy, David Broido, a makeup effects artist from California, from LA. All the way from LA. Welcome, Dave. What's happening, buddy?
What's going on, Dave? Glad to be on the show.
Thank you so much for making the time and being here, buddy. I know it's like 7 o'clock in the morning there, so we really, really do appreciate it.
It is 8 a.m., a bright and early orange-skied 8 a.m.
Awesome, buddy. So I've known you for about 2-3 years. We started playing PUBG together back in the day, and I've always thought you're an incredibly fascinating guy, and I could think of no one better to be our first guest on the show. I know everyone's going to be like, "Where's Neil?" Neil looks a little different. But we're official now, ladies and gents. Like I said, we got our first guest. So Dave, why don't you tell the good peeps listening just a little bit about yourself?
Well, I am originally from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. There isn't a whole lot of work for special effects makeup artists in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. So while I went to school out in Pennsylvania, in Western Pennsylvania by Pittsburgh, I spent about a year or two after school back in Philadelphia and did a very minimal amount of work. I was able to work with Jesse Wellens, who has gone on to be a Twitter, Twitter star. Before he was, he was popular, but not nearly but not 1 million views in one day popular,
Okay, yeah.
That's what he moved on to. So that was cool, but like I rarely got opportunities like that living in Philadelphia. So I moved out to Los Angeles, and decided to make camp there. And I've now been here for 5 years, and now I'm a homeowner.
Awesome, Benny, and congrats on the new castle there, Castle
Yes,
Broido.
Broido.
And
pretty rad.
Like I said, you're one of the most fascinating guys I've ever spoken to. I've never met Dave. Hopefully, one day in the future, I'll get to crack a cold one with him. But you dabble in makeup effects. You dabble in so many things. He's even a Twitch streamer. We're going to give you a nice little punt at the end there. But one thing I really want to talk about today and highlight today is something that you've recently started to dabble in. And you wouldn't think that you just started dabbling in this. You think that you're like a 20-year vet, and that is, of course, your beautiful diorama from the Mandalorian.
Hey, thank you. I appreciate it. It was quite a laborious process, and I'm somebody who doesn't like to start something and then kind of come back to it and start something that I tend to not focus on 9 projects at once, but one project at once. And so I just worked straight through from start to finish. I actually didn't even game for like a week, and all my gaming friends were like, are you okay? Like, what happened to you? It's like, something big is coming. Let the mad scientist work. Something big is coming.
That's awesome, dude.
And big it was indeed.
It was. I think we have it up on the screen right now. There's the sexy Dave.
Yeah.
2 sexy Daves make a right. There we have the that is the finished diorama right there. And this is a video you actually put together that went through the entire build, which is incredible. Yeah. So why don't you take us through the journey, buddy? Like what the whole thing? No detail left out.
All right, cool. Well, so right now I'm just kind of explaining the diorama and bullshitting on YouTube to make a nice long padded intro. But yeah, I'm basically just explaining how laborious the process was, how, a friend of mine at this point, I think I'm just describing how a friend of mine named Alan is a good friend of mine. We got into business a couple years ago. He was printing Pip-Boy kits, and I was a huge Fallout cosplayer, and everybody knew me in the Fallout cosplay circuits. And so I started making Pip-Boys, and I was buying my kits from Alan. And then, so Alan and I kind of, like about 5 years ago when I moved to California, Alan and I, started doing 3D printing as like an unofficial business.
Like a hobby, yeah.
Yeah, where people would come to me and say, I need a Pip-Boy. I would go to Alan. I'd buy the kit from Alan. He'd send it to me, I'd finish it, and then send it off to the client. So,
that's a sweet little business. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. And so Alan printed the crates that are used in this diorama on his PLA printer. So at this point in the video, obviously, I've just assembled the backboard and the baseboard out of a piece of old plywood I just had laying around that I wanted to use for a project, and MDF board I bought at Home Depot. Now I'm jigsawing and cutting out door frames.
You're moving so quick. How did you get in such good shape to move that fast?
I know, man. I just don't tell anybody. Don't tell anybody.
We're getting older when the dad jokes start to creep out.
I'm from a dead planet called Krypton.
So one question I want to ask
sure.
is why the Mandalorian? Why did you pick that for your epic piece?
So I did a fire diorama before this happened, before this one, where it was a nuclear explosion lamp.
I saw that.
It was just it was a cool like nightstand lamp, and I wrapped it with some fairy lights and some cotton and this, that, and the other thing. And it was a nuke, and it was like really cool. And people were like, dude, it exploded, literally exploded, like figuratively and literally. People were like, dude, this is amazing. What are you gonna do next? And I was like, whoa, what do you mean? What am I gonna do next? Like, like you're clearly fire diorama is like your thing. Like, so like, what are you gonna do for your next fire diorama? And I was like, well, shit. I didn't really get that far. Like, I wasn't thinking about what I was even gonna. I just wanted to make a nuclear explosion lamp. Like, I really didn't think as far ahead as whatever my next project was going to be. So I kind of just winged it and started thinking like, what could I even do that would be interesting? And like, I personally am already a group member of many groups on Facebook that focus specifically on scale models, dioramas. Shit, I'm part of a group that's called I'm High and These Are Tiny Things.
Oh, wow.
And it's just people who get stoned and post little miniature stuff.
I think I follow that group. I think you sent that link to me.
You know what I mean? So, I mean, it's like, but I was totally an observer up until this point. I just loved the stuff, seeing the stuff that people would post and whatnot. And so, but I just decided that I'm sick of looking at this kind of stuff, and I want to actually start getting into miniature arts, myself.
Get your hands dirty.
Scale miniature arts myself. So I decided to make my next fire diorama not just be the whole piece being an explosion, in which obviously the entire piece is the explosion. There's nothing else to look at. It's the explosion. I see somebody on Facebook right now is building one they're calling the Manhattan Project, and it's like the same thing that I did, but it's surrounded by like little 3D printed city pieces, like blocks and blocks of city. Like, that looks fucking cool. That looks cool as hell.
He's trying to one up you, man. Yeah.
Hey, man, look. I don't even want to say like whatchamacallit, imitation is the sincerest form of flattery, because technically it is. Technically they're imitating somebody, I'm imitating somebody, we're all imitating, that's it. But it truly is. So it's nice to know that like the whole reason I did the video was because I saw the guy that was selling them in Poland on Etsy who got snagged by the scammers on Facebook who were resharing his images and saying you could buy his lamp for like $20. And people were like flipping out about the lamps. So I was like, well, I'm no disrespect to this guy who's the Etsy seller who's already dealing with Facebook scammers stealing his images and trying to pretend like they have his lamp for $20. He's selling them for like $200 or $300. But I was like, I'm just going to make a video, like a DIY video on how you actually make one of these. And then like people don't have to worry about it. They can see my video and then they can go to the store, buy $30 worth of materials and go make one themselves.
Yeah, that's it.
And that was the point of the video, was I wanted to inspire people who saw it to go out and make one for themselves. Let me tell you what ended up happening. 1,000 comments from people that say, how long is your queue for this product?
I was one of them. I was like, when I get enough money, I need to place an order.
You totally missed like everybody. I get it, but it's like you totally missed the entire point of the video. I was trying to inspire people to go out and make their own.
That's it, yeah. But it was so impressive. Like I was flabbergasted when I saw it for the first time. And I know we don't have footage of it, which is such a shame because we're talking about it now. But when I saw it for the first time, I thought it was like CG. I'm like, geez, this guy does like CG 3D modeling now as well, but it was obviously like a real life explosion. And yeah, like we'll maybe just post a picture later on the Facebook wall so you guys can check it out. It's absolutely nuts how realistic it looks.
I mean, I can actually just go. It's like in the other room. At some point, I will just run and go grab it. It's like not.
Wow,
totally.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's literally.
But you might have to.
Right in the other room. So
we might have to check it out at the end.
Totally no big deal.
Very, very cool. So obviously, then the Mandalorian, you were looking for something in the same vein with a little bit of like fire action happening, but like you said, you wanted to take it to the next level.
There had to be fire because it was obvious that people wanted to see another fire diorama. I love the Mandalorian. I love the Mandalorian so much I ordered 2 of those goddamn animatronic Baby Yodas that are arriving in December. Like, well, I figured it would be good to get 2 so I could keep one for myself and then gift one to somebody else.
They're so amazing, those things, dude. I need one.
Maybe you'll have a fucking Baby Yoda.
Oh, maybe. Wink, wink.
But I have a lot of friends that worked on the show as a special effects. I mean, I have never worked on anything that big, and I'm totally fine with that. I like the smaller scale stuff. There's a more personal feel to the smaller scale stuff. You are a tiny fucking cog in a giant machine when you work on something like the Mandalorian.
Oh yeah.
So it's not that I wouldn't do that. It's just I've always preferred the smaller, more personal projects.
Yeah.
Which is why I love working on like web series and stuff like that. Smaller crews, smaller shop crews, stuff like that. So, but I love the Mandalorian. I have a vested interest in Star Wars.
Oh, look at that! What? My eyes. Wait, you got? Is that the Rebel Alliance and the
Rebel Alliance and the Imperial? Yeah.
Awesome, dude.
True
fan, and I missed.
I'm a true fan of both sides of the coin. I get a lot of shit from people with Imperial tattoos for then showing my Rebel tattoo. They're like, "Oh, why'd you have to go and do that?"
Yeah.
Right. And of course, all the Rebel people see the Imperial tattoo, and they're like, "Eh."
You got the yin and the yang, man. You got to balance it out. So
it shows that the Imperial lovers are the less tolerant of the two.
That's exactly it.
But so I have a vested interest in Star Wars. I love Star Wars. I've always loved Star Wars. I'm not a huge fan of the new stuff. I'm a fan of the new stuff, just not a huge
fan. The Disney trilogy. Yeah, don't even get me started. We don't have enough time on the podcast to rip on that, but that's a separate podcast.
I'm not even really a huge fan of the ones that happened when I was a kid either. But if we just want to talk about like the original Star Wars and what made Star Wars, The Mandalorian is. I don't think anybody would argue with me in saying that The Mandalorian is as close to that as any Star Wars has gotten since 1981 or 83, whatever.
Space Western the way it should be.
Yeah, man, it's a bit of a space opera, and I love it because that's what the original Star Wars was. So exactly. I was immediately very attracted to The Mandalorian just because of how it's presented, how it's shot. All of the themes, how the acting, how the writing, I mean, literally everything. It's Jon Favreau is like, no, this needs to be as close to original Star Wars as
that man is a genius, by the way.
He is, and not just him. Let's give credit to Dave Filoni as well, because they're both, the two of them together are an irrecordable force that should just, they're keeping Star Wars alive. I don't want to talk badly about anybody who has helped in the deterioration of Star Wars or its communities, but those two are keeping Star Wars alive, right? They are. So I was hugely into The Mandalorian and was like, all right, well, let's think about this. If I did a Mandalorian diorama and it has to involve fire, it's going to have to involve either an explosion or a scene where Mando uses his torch
with his fire.
And he only does that like a couple times the whole first season. And the scene outside where he sprays like 10 stormtroopers in a row, like
you're like, no, I'm not ready for that.
That was like a little bit too much. So I was kind of like, all right, well, I think we're just gonna go for like one little scene here where he's escaping with the child and he torches the one stormtrooper after he like gets in a little gunfight. Pow! And so I did it. And it turned out so fantastic. And I know I haven't really been talking a whole lot about the scene, but this right here is the point in the project where I started to like hyperventilate
with the glue gun.
I was like seeing this cone of flame artificial LED flame, and I was just like, like
it's all coming together. Yeah, dude, like even at this point, it's so mind-bogglingly detailed at this point. You know what I'm saying? Like what you've done in the background with the backdrop.
It really is nice to hear that too, because I think that sometimes, and in this case, I guess, no, I don't think so. Not in this case, but in some cases, I do believe that my perfectionism and attention to detail hinders my schedule and my time, because I will spend way longer than any human being should on a given area to make sure it is perfect, and even accidentally then fuck things up trying to get it perfect and have to go back and do even more work to get it.
It must be infuriating, dude.
It is. So I'm glad that I let myself really have fun with this and not get too the only time I got frustrated the whole week that I did this was I was using a really old soldering iron at first, like my grandpa's soldering iron. Kind of old, and it doesn't heat up really well anymore. It doesn't work that well. So I eventually had to get a new soldering iron because it just wasn't doing the trick. And I did in this video, it happens at 5,000%, so you can't see it. Like, I was like, when I just couldn't get the connection soldered right. So anyway, here we are at the end of the video and about to show off the diorama.
Ooh, the big reveal, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, drink that in. That always goes down smooth. Look at that, guys. Man, can you believe this? Like, dude, you even got the light switches and the door panels, like, perfect.
Really tried. And so we'll get to actually see the scene here and alongside the diorama, so you can get a good comparison of what this looks like. So Justin Lopes asked, where can we check out more of these projects?
Yes.
On my Facebook, on my YouTube. I occasionally post stuff to my Instagram, although that is mostly animals and food.
Yeah. It's a Shogun named your channel's Shogun named David.
It's youtube.com/c/a Shogun named David.
That's it. We'll I think we got a video at the end with all your channels to give you the good point. But speaking of chat, let's just touch it, guys, because I mean you guys must be impressed. I've seen this before and I'm still impressed. Let's ask the chat what they think. Justin, Mohammed, welcome. Steve, Mike in the house, Bubba Ganoush, how you guys doing? Welcome to the very first guest on the show edition. That's what we're going to call it, a very professional name. What do you guys think of the amazing work by my boy David Broido, all the way from Los Angeles? You got to really roll the tongue to get it. And it speaks for itself, guys. What do you think? Let's hear some feedback from the chat.
I'll go get the diorama real quick.
Go grab that nuke. It blew my mind. The first thing I said to Dave when I saw this is like, dude, like what would you charge for something like this? Because to have something like this on my shelf would be an absolute privilege. This is there we go. There's the real thing. In the flesh, as I live and breathe, ladies and gents. Mr. Broido is about to reveal it. Here we go. Look at that. Hey, he had to battle his cats and dogs to stop eating the figurines. That alone took days. Wowza. Justin, very impressed with your work. There it is. My word. Hey. Fantastic, dude. Now, I don't know if David can hear me. We're gonna get close up here. Here we go. Oh, look at that, ladies and gents. Hey. I love the bird marks. Even the little blaster fire round from the stormtrooper that hits the crate there is a lovely little detail. I don't know if you guys noticed that. Really, really, like, attention to detail is 10 out of 10. Beautiful, Dave. Absolutely beautiful. It does.
Nuke lamp. Give me 1 sec.
Go get the nuke. You guys got to see the nuke blast. It really is impressive. Yeah, you guys got to see this. So yeah, let us know what you guys think of Dave's work. He is so talented. I've got some questions for him because I'm trying to get him to do a Jurassic Park diorama for me. He doesn't know it yet, but that's his next project. But let's see what he thinks about that. If we did miss any chats, forgive me. It has been a very special podcast, and I wanted Mr. Broido to get all the airtime because he is such a talented man. Varney, David, how long did it take to get the flames to look like that? Must have been a lot of trial and error. According to David Wise, we'll get him back in just a second so he can tell you a bit more about that. Did he say he worked with Jesse Wellens, as in the guy from Prank vs. Prank, Bubba? That was the guy. He did say, yeah, absolutely. He's like I said, Dave's a man of many talents. He's a seasoned. Here we go. There's the mushroom cloud nuclear explosion. Look at that, guys. You got to see it turned on. I wonder if you can turn it on.
Yeah, plug it in.
Take a look at this, guys. So Dave, so what you must be thinking is, wow, can I buy any of this stuff? Dave does. He's not currently selling the diorama of the Mandalorian, but he does sell other cool little like miniature dioramas that I'm going to ask him about in just a second.
All right, there we go.
So here's the nuke. We got some questions coming down the pipeline for you, Mr. Broido.
Alrighty. Let's see.
So the first one.
Did it take to get the flames to look like that must have been a lot of trial and error. Nope. I got lucky, guys. I got real lucky. So when it comes to the flames, I had previously done a project with flames. This nuke lamp that I'm about to show you. And that was kind of my trial and error stage. And I'll be completely honest, I was very nervous when I started the project and was like, I'm gonna make a nuke lamp. I'm gonna make a nuke lamp, bro. I'm gonna make a nuke lamp. I was like, I'm gonna make a nuke lamp, but I am extremely nervous about making a nuke lamp because like I'm a perfectionist and like I could spend 10 hours working on something and then hate it and be like, I'm not showing this to anybody.
Yeah.
Nope. Nobody will see this ever. And like I might not throw it out because like I will want to like come back to it and fix it or work on it or do something to it sometime, but like nobody's gonna see it like until I'm like it's but I actually got really lucky. And if we're being completely honest, I never have liked the way the nuke lamp looks to your eyes.
What?
Looking at it. Like if you're standing here in the room looking at it, it doesn't look nearly as cool to your eyes as it does to a camera. The way that it'll play to a camera lighting wise is amazing. Yeah. I was 100, 200, 500, 1,000% satisfied. As soon as I started taking pictures of it, when I was like, okay, I'm going to call this done.
Like, these can see the light of day.
I was like,
yeah. Yeah.
Oh, baby. Oh,
yeah,
give me this one from this angle. I was so satisfied. So without further ado, I'll hold it up and play to my Logitech Brio as well as it plays to, there it goes. It certainly
look at that. Look at that. Can we get a little closer to the camera there?
Yeah,
a smidge closer. Look at that, guys. How cool for a desk lamp. That is probably the coolest damn desk lamp I've ever seen.
Yep. So and how you change the people. I had a lot of questions about how do you change the bulb?
Oh, it's like opening a brain. Dude, that's amazing.
It's an LED bulb, so there's a minor amount of heat dissipation. So I never have to worry about like the bulb, like this stuff.
Burning the cotton.
Yeah, it barely even gets warm on top. So, and it's not cotton, it's polyester. So if there were to ever even be a fire, this would melt, not catch on fire because polyester melts, it doesn't ignite.
Clever. That's beautiful. Move it a smidge back. Let's get the full frame. Oh, dude, that's so cool, bro. Do you have it in your bedroom right now? Like just lit up next to the bed?
No, it's actually the centerpiece on my dining room table.
Oh, dude, that's so cool. That is so damn cool.
It goes through the table. It's a table that's got like leaves. So I slide the plug in between the two middle leaves, and then it runs down through one of the legs. And like when we have company over, it's the centerpiece of dinner.
A man after my own heart. Imagine that as a talking piece, guys. That's so cool, dude.
Yep.
That is phenomenal. We got another question coming down.
Cool.
Let's have a look here. So, Bubba, just wanted to confirm if you're talking about Jesse Wellens. Yes, we were. We were talking about Jesse Wellens back in the beginning. And yes, something I wanted to ask. What I know you're doing miniature, not obviously the dioramas of the Mandalorian, but you're selling miniature, like,
let me go. Yeah, hey, let me go grab one of those real quick.
Yes, we are so well prepared for this podcast. I gotta give him all the prints I can because his stuff is so good. Like, what would be your starter kit, Justin Lopez? This would probably be a starter kit right here. Check this out.
I appreciate it because this is totally an unrelated venture, but
Take a looky-loo.
If you guys remember when you were kids reading a book called Where the Sidewalk Ends by a poet named Shel Silverstein, does this look familiar to you guys by chance?
Take a look at that. I don't read many books, so this is out of my field of expertise, but I'm sure in the chat someone must have read that.
So if you Google Where the Sidewalk Ends, you're pretty much going to see this sculpture, but in 2D on the cover of a book.
That's super cool.
So it's just one of the things that I'm making right now is a physical 3D printed representation of the front cover of the children's book Where the Sidewalk Ends.
That's awesome.
And I made one and got a surprisingly large amount of inboxes that day. Like, okay, how much? Like right now? Like how much right now?
Yeah.
Like, holy shit. Okay, I didn't realize it was gonna be like that. Like,
take my money.
Yeah. So
what website do you have set up for people to go check it out if they want to buy one?
I actually don't have a website. I was taking commission orders, so I don't have I won't have any in stock. They will be printed basically upon order. I just got my next shipment of prints in, which is the picture that you saw yesterday, and literally every single one of those prints is already sold. Like, ooh. I haven't even assembled the shit, and
that's amazing, dude.
Already sold for $125 each, and I'm hand delivering 2 of them in West Hollywood and San Mateo, which are both parts of Los Angeles.
Congrats.
Yeah, I'd rather if they're gonna pay me $30 to drive out or they're gonna pay $30 in shipping, I guarantee you I'm gonna be the one who gets that shit there in one piece, not the fucking
hand delivered.
Hand delivered. So I'm gonna hand deliver these to.
What a legend! I want you to.
Yeah, these guys are only an hour away. I like driving. They're only an hour away. Not a big deal. And they live like 20 minutes away from each other, the 2 clients. So I'm gonna just hand deliver them. And I think it's more personal that way anyway. I know that we've got the whole crazy ass pandemic thing going on, but I will be wearing rubber gloves and a mask.
Nice. If I wanted you to hand deliver something to me in South Africa, would you take a flight?
Fuck yeah, bro.
Yeah. Tell you what, I'm ordering today, buddy. Speaking of which, would you do what's your next project? Because I've got an idea for you.
I don't know, but perhaps your idea can be my next project.
Perhaps it can be. And I'm thinking maybe, and I'm throwing it out there. You don't like it, you throw it straight back. The T-Rex breakout scene from Jurassic Park.
I could, and we talked about this, and I could do something like that. With like sparks, like not really like explosions, but maybe like a little like pop of smoke with like a couple of trails, and then like one single LED at the end of the smoke trail, so you get like sparks flying out of a little pop of smoke.
That's it. Yeah. That could look sexy.
Like
the road flare, the
road flare. Oh yeah, of course.
Flare, yeah.
That's. I mean, that's as simple as like if you look at how I'm lighting the thing with the Stormtrooper and how I did the one single tiny LED in the end of the barrel blast on his E11 blaster, and it just ever so slightly lights up enough to make it just red at the end of the barrel, but not like blatantly red.
That's it.
It's like something like that, but just use a slightly more powerful LED because that flare is like really bright, like lights up Dr. Ian Malcolm, like his whole front.
Exactly. I think it should be your next project, buddy. I might have to commission on that one.
You may have swayed me. And like I showed you my homie Griffin Barker, who is another amazing miniature artist who just did a T-Rex breakout scene, but he's very good. He did it in, I believe, 1/48th scale. So on a much smaller scale than this, which is 1/12th scale. If I were to do it on this, that scene would take up like a whole desk.
Yes, that's what I like to hear.
I'd probably do like 1/24. I don't even know if I could get a T-Rex in 1/12th scale. Like, I don't even know if they I'm sure they make one, but it's probably very expensive. Probably do like 1/24th scale, which would be a little bit smaller than this. And yeah, you may have swayed me because
I got to twist that rubber arm of yours, buddy.
I'm a huge Jurassic Park. I know I'm talking about. I'm a huge this fan, a huge that fan, Star Wars. But I list on my website, on my I say my website. I don't really use it anymore. But my Wix site, I have listed that Jurassic Park is one of the reasons that I entirely got into special effects in the first place, along with Terminator 2 and John Carpenter's The Thing are like the three holy grail movies.
The Holy Trinity, buddy.
This is why I got into special effects. Yeah, pretty much.
Awesome, dude. Another suggestion, maybe the endoskeleton stomping on the skull at the beginning of T2 Judgment Day with like an explosion in the back. That's not bad.
Red eyes and the explosion in the back.
That's not bad, buddy.
No,
hey?
Definitely not.
Okay.
There's so many different avenues that you can take too, because I mean, like I've also wanted to do it's a little on the nerdy aviation side, but I mean, you know me, I love flying games, Star Citizen and whatnot. I feel like I would do really well at having like a jet chasing another jet and firing like missiles and having like a missile hitting the jet in front and like
that would be insane. I think Neil's ears just perked up because he's a massive fan of anything aviation. So
I'm a huge. I have Flight Simulator. I have all of the like Jane's games. Like like I'm dude. That's like people don't know this about me, but like I'm a huge Flight Sim nerd.
Chuck Yeager's Flight School, all those gems there. That's awesome, buddy. Mohammed asking, have you done any Dragon Ball Z work?
No, I have not. That would be really cool though, because imagine the fucking possibilities if you can do fire like I can. Not trying to boast here. Please don't take this as a standing up and puffing my chest out. But if you can do fire like I can very clearly do fire, like why wouldn't you want to do some Super Saiyan shit? Like, dude, like I would. I'm not into Dragon Ball Z at all. Like, not at all. I don't know the first thing about it other than. Hadouken. No, that's fine. But I would totally love to do something like that because the possibility for the craziness that I know you could get I just had a professional photographer that shot for Mattel for years shoot my thing last week, and I'm kind of just slowly releasing the pictures as he gets them back to me. And like it's like if you did that, but with like pretty much anything, like the Jurassic Park thing, if I do a Jurassic Park thing, I'm totally going to have that same photographer who's going to come over and shoot that Jurassic Park thing for me.
Amazing. Dude. You got some good contacts. So yeah, that's a couple of suggestions for your next epic masterpiece. But like I said, you're a man of many talents. You also have a Twitch channel that's a Shogun named David on Twitch. You got a Facebook page of the same name, Shogun named David. You guys want to go check out more of his work. He posts all his work there. You do post all your work, your diorama work on that as well.
I do. The Shogun named David TV gaming is all gaming.
Okay.
However, the YouTube channel encompasses everything, and then all of my work that doesn't go to the gaming page on Facebook just goes to my normal personal Facebook page.
Okay, cool. I'll put all your links in the description of the video in case you're watching this after the fact. But ladies and gentlemen, can you believe it? Our first international guest, and like I said, I couldn't think of anyone better. And it's a privilege, an honor and a privilege to be speaking to you, buddy. And like I said, you are so gifted, so talented. I can't wait to see what you come up with next. I know it's going to be the Jurassic Park diorama because we're going to chat about it. But
fucking etched in steel, bro.
Yeah, it is. We got witnesses to this deal. But I appreciate it, buddy. And how's the weather in LA this morning, by the way?
Looking like it's going to be pretty sunny. It's a little,
awesome.
It's a little getting the sun's kind of peeking up over the horizon here, but it looks like it's going to be sunny. It's been 100 degrees every day for like a week now.
Jeez, buddy. Yeah, it gets hot out in Cali. Yeah, it does. It does indeed. Thank you, Dave.
I also live like right on the edge of the desert too. So
yes, you do.
Sir.
Exactly.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me, dude.
Real world Mad Max. That's Dave Broido. I got it right. Yes, I remembered. As I live and breathe, ladies and gents, thank you for joining us for all the comments. I know we didn't jump on the chat too much, but I wanted to let Dave speak his speaks because he's such an interesting dude. With that said, much love to anyone that gave us any shares along the way. And like I said, I'm going to leave those links of his in the comments, in the description below. So go check out all his cool stuff. Thank you again, Dave.
Yes, sir.
Much love. Have an epic day, buddy.